Yeah. Pretty proud moment for us. Obviously the OVC being a one bid league, we actually have to win the tournament to get here. And if you look back at what our seniors have accomplished, our group of seniors, Kyle being one of them, they've won our tournament 3 times in the last 4 years, and I think that's a pretty remarkable accomplishment. It hasn't always been easy. We were pretty banged up for a good portion of the year, and I didn't know if we were going to get to this point, but our group showed remarkable resilience. We finished up winning 12 of our last 14 games. Thought our group and our seniors especially showed tremendous leadership and tremendous heart to finish the year the way they did. And we're super happy to be here. We played in 2 of the last 3 of these things, or 3 of the last 4 now. I am hopeful at some point that we can break through and win one of these things and come out on the right side of it. But that's what we're here for. So that's what I got.
Questions for student athletes? Start with Cape Girardeau native.
We want the players first, right?
Yes.
Yeah, both. Been a Cap-Hop Park many a time.
Yes, sir.
But Arkansas is 33-3 at home, but
Right.
they didn't win the region. They sometimes they won a regional here, sometimes they haven't. Just what are your all's thoughts coming in and having to play? An SEC team is 33-3 at home. Maybe Josh, how do you think that?
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be they're going to be a great ball team, and this is #1 atmosphere in college baseball. So I'm expecting a big crowd and just to come out and play our best game and to have fun with it.
Yeah, I'm looking for my first win in the regional. It's my 3rd time here. Josh is looking for his first one too. Everybody on the team is. So we're really excited to play here and get a good chance to beat a good team. So
For both of you, Coach was just saying how y'all finished the season strong. Just kind of what's been going right for y'all lately? Kind of what's been the key to y'all's surge to end the season?
I'd like to say we've come together well. I mean, towards the end of the year, and that's what you hope to have in a ball club. You don't want to play your best baseball early on in the season. You always want to play your best baseball, but you're looking to play it more towards the end of the season when everything's on the line and everything matters. And I think we've done a great job of coming together as one unit and playing a great baseball game every time we go out. And I think that's been a big key in winning the last 12 of the 14 games we played.
yeah, he nailed it. We had a meeting about a month ago and talked about just that, to play for the guy next to you, and we turned it around.
Kyle, with the experience of playing in the regionals, just kind of the senior laden team, I mean, has this season felt maybe a little bit different than even some of the past times you made it to a regional, just with the experience that you guys have on the roster?
Yeah, so personally, it's my last go, so it's been an exciting season. Been super excited for every game. But yeah, there's definitely a different buzz this year. Some of the guys have been to 2 regionals, and we've gone 0-2 both times. So I think there's a different feeling. We have a chance to win a game, 2, 3 here. So it's definitely a different buzz.
Yeah, for Josh and Kyle, and Josh, you can go first, but you guys being able to be such an offensive team and,
Right.
and have that be an advantage here against an Arkansas team where I don't think anybody knows who's going to pitch tomorrow yet. So using that to your advantage and using the offensive power that you guys have to try to get that first win that you guys talk about.
Right, always. And I think offense is a big, part of the game. You got to score runs to win, but you also need to play great defense and you need to pitch it well. So no matter what aspect of the game you look at, I mean, we're going to have to come out and give it our best go, whether that's offense, defense, pitching. Everyone's going to have to be at their best to be able to play great baseball in this type of environment.
You got it. I don't do any of the offensive stuff.
Right.
I think you played here a few years ago at Baum. Just do you have any memories of that? And maybe is there any advantage of having that experience?
Yeah, I got one good memory of it. I got Robert Moore hit a ball off the top of the wall, and I got the loss. But besides that, I think there is an advantage of playing here in front of a bunch of fans, and this place is pretty cruel if anything goes wrong for you. So I think there is an advantage to playing here. Before we came here last year on a Tuesday, and we know it's going to be a different environment than that even. But just having that 1 or 5 games for me under my belt, yeah, it makes a difference for sure. We're ready for it.
Yeah, I guess, Josh, you got an
Yes, sir.
Arkansas guy, Trevor's your batting coach.
Right.
What would you say about him? And you guys want to have 100 home runs or some
Right.
crazy number like
Yeah, he's a great dude. He's a great coach to say the least. I mean, he knows what he's talking about, and he's been in these type of games, and he's been in these type of situations, and he does a great job of spreading the message of what he's trying to put off hitting wise, and he knows how to connect with the players, and he knows how to get the word out there what needs to be done. I think he does a great job with the whole team on being a great hitting coach.
Hey, Josh, Coach wasn't sure if you guys would see Hagen Smith or you wouldn't.
Right.
But how do you prepare for a game like this? Do you study a little bit on him and what he
Right.
does and everyone else?
Great arm. He's got great stuff. You get in there and you compete. That's what you do. So you get in the box and you compete with them.
But if they say throw a right hander, I mean, what kind of prep did you do to get ready then?
We haven't done anything yet until we find out who
Right. Yeah, we don't know who's throwing, but whoever they do throw, I think we can get in there and just competitive bets all game long, and I think that'll do us the right way.
Guys, appreciate you for the very practice.
Thank you. Thank you.
Coach, as of when we talked, you weren't sure who among the four you'd start. Are you closer? What kind is going to play into this?
Yeah, we know who we're going to throw. I'm just not going to say anything till we know who they're throwing, honestly. So
It's all going to come out of the meeting tonight, apparently.
we'll all find out. The worst kept secret in baseball.
You played here a number of times, and what are you expecting to see tomorrow night?
One of the top three.
Happening.
One of the top three atmospheres in college baseball. It's an electric environment. I've coached here as an Aggie, as a Husker, as a Red Hawk. They probably hated the Aggies worse than everybody, but it's a great atmosphere. Obviously, as y'all know, wonderful fan base. They're going to be excited, and I do know that if the game is close, it's going to be a little anxious. I do know that. So hopefully we can keep it tight and make it a ball game late and cause some of those uncomfortable feelings.
Yeah, Andy, obviously Arkansas had a great year overall, but they have lost 3 in a row. They went to Hoover and went 0-2, although last time they went to Omaha. So I don't know. But what's your take on maybe what you're expecting from them when they haven't won? They haven't won in 2 weeks. They haven't won a game in 2 weeks.
Yeah, nobody cares about that. If you're a national seed, no one cares what happens in Hoover. Certainly not the Razorbacks. Having to go play that conference tournament when you're already in the tournament and already a national seed, that's 100% afterthought. And you look how they pitched that thing. They weren't pitching to win it. They were pitching to set themselves up for this weekend. And so I'm not going to read anything into what happened in Hoover. I know how that game is played. But obviously, they've got elite level pitching. It seems like they've had a hard time finding a lineup they wanted to stick with throughout the course of the year. But the pitching and the stuff that we're going to see is significantly different than what we're used to in our league. I think we're just kind of waiting to see who's going to be available. I think that's the big thing. I'm not sure. There's rumors of guys not being available. We're waiting to see who we're going to throw. I think they're just trying to find out what they need to do to put themselves in the best spot to win the tournament. So, yeah, I think there's a little bit of a waiting game to see what they're going to do.
And you talked about, in the Ohio Valley, it's probably not fair, but you got to win that tournament, do you think that mindset helps you guys or whoever wins a league tournament where it's a must win and then you can carry that mentality over into a regional?
I think it does. We had that same deal in the last weekend of the regular bye, and so certainly that is a huge advantage into a tournament. And we needed to sweep the last weekend to secure that double bye. And we did. We played great the last weekend. We ended up played good games. Even the game we lost at the conference tournament, we led the entire game and just didn't finish it off against one of the best power hitters in the country, Roman Kuntz, who finished with conference records for home runs and RBIs. I was stupid enough to pitch to him in the 9th inning, and he had a homer off us. But our kids played great. They played great for the last 2 weeks, and they've known what's at stake for the last couple of weeks. So certainly being in a regional environment's not going to be a different feeling in terms of that aspect.
You get to that meeting later, or you and Dave gonna have like a stare down to see who blinks first and names a starter, or how's that gonna be?
I'll say, Coach, it's good to see you. And I will let him tell me what he wants to do.
Yeah, Coach, along those lines, I know you played for Coach Van Horn. Just kind of what's your relationship like with him, and what was your reaction, getting matched up with him in the regional?
My relationship with him is like any former player coach relationship where the player has a ton of respect for the coach. I mean, he changed my life. He changed my career. Our story is pretty interesting. He and Rob Childress arrived at Christmas break at Nebraska my senior year. Coach Van Horn rode me like a rented mule, like was hard on me. I was the senior starting catcher, played every day the year before. I was kind of a catch and throw defender type guy, and Coach Van Horn preferred offensive catchers at that time in his career. And I lost my starting job, and I felt like he was trying to make an example of me every day in practice. He was very hard on me. He was a little more demonstrative when he was younger, I'll say that. At the end of the year, I walked in for my meeting, and he said, "Andy, I was harder on you than you deserved, but I knew you were tough enough to take it. I'm trying to change the culture, and I needed to have somebody who could wear it for me, and you were that guy." So I was, "Oh, thanks." But he said, "I know you want to go coaching. I've got a job lined up for." He already had a job lined up for me. I went down to Northwestern State. He'd already got it set up. I got to teach classes in the P department. Got to be the volunteer for John Cohen, who's now the AD at Auburn. He did all of that without my knowing it. Wow, he was making an example of me to the team, like riding me hard. And I have the utmost of respect for Coach Van Horn. The team that he inherited my senior year, we had 4 guys living in a house. 3 of those 4 are Division I head coaches. That's pretty amazing. His coaching tree is long, it's extensive, and all of us, I know, happy to, we're happy to, I'd be happy to be at Mississippi State, even though I don't like those guys very much, right? Just kidding. But we're happy to be in this situation. It's special for me to get to compete against my former coach. I'll say that.
And also, I want to ask about Trevor Ezell. He's a guy that played for you, then transferred out, came to Arkansas, but now you've got him hired back. Just kind of what has he meant to your team, and what do you think of him as a coach?
I think he's one of the best young hitting coaches in the country. I hope I lose him someday. I hope I lose him to the University of Arkansas and he can come back here and work with y'all's guys. When that time comes, when Nate gets his program. But Trevor's been back for 4 years. In those 4 years, we've been to 3 regionals. We've set the school record for home runs 2 times. Like, you can do the math and figure out how important he's been to our program.
Coach, appreciate you.
Well, hey, Coach, you had Josh up here. He's kind of been a mainstay for the program. What has he meant to you guys, his career?
He's our most talented offensive player. Didn't have the year we thought he'd have. I thought he was going to be a conference player of the year type guy. He's got 4 tools, dynamic player. Really struggled in there halfway through the year. I had to bench him a couple times because he was striking out at a prodigious rate. Just really scuffled early in the year. Kind of got it going and carried us. Like, if you look at his conference numbers, they were fantastic. Hit darn near 400 with 10 home runs in conference play. So he had a really good conference season, even though he struggled a lot early. But Josh is special to me. He's a little bit rough around the edges. He's the guy that always plays hard. His heart's in the right place, but sometimes you got to work hard to keep him between the lines. But I think that's why you coach, because I think I was that same young man when I was 21 years old. I needed to be kept between the lines sometimes. But he's probably our most gifted offensive player, and he plays with a lot of heart and a lot of passion. And as sometimes with your best player, as he goes, you go. And when he plays good, we usually play well.
All right.
Thanks.
Right.